mentioned it yet, but you are, of course, watching the TLS round of 24. Today it is the Groups A and Groups B, and this is going to be some good stuff. Group A features such favorites as DragOn, Cryok, Skyline, and trutaCz. And in Group B, we're seeing Modesty, Andre, Michael, and Zaraki. So we've got a few names in here now who we haven't seen throughout the rest of the tournament. So it's going to be really, really interesting. We haven't seen Michael yet. I'm keen to see how he's getting on. And I'm keen to see what Andre can pull against him.
Yeah, actually, now that I look at it, so Group A has 2 seeds. So Cryok and Skyline are seeded, and then DragOn and trutaCz qualified. I believe they actually both won their respective qualifiers, right? And then,
yeah, I think so.
And then for Group B, only Michael is seeded, and the other 3 are qualifiers. So yeah, definitely a mix of players from last season and from the qualifiers for this season. So yeah, should be good.
Yeah.
So Group A is what we'll be starting with, consisting of DragOn, trutaCz, Skyline, and Cryok. The first match will be DragOn versus trutaCz, a PvZ on destination. Oh, speaking of which, the map order for the groups, by the way, guys, is going to be the same, well, the same map pool, rather, as the qualifiers. So we're going to do the first 2 matches on destination, the winners and losers on Aztec, and then the final match on Fighting Spirit. And these are all best of 1s, of course. Just for the round of 24, for round of 16, we'll go back to using some best of 3s, just like last season.
It's going to be good. And despite what people say, I mean, this kind of seems to be mixed opinions on this, but I think that's a really well-balanced map pool. Maybe not exactly well-balanced in terms of racial distribution, but well-balanced in terms of what you can do on different maps. So I actually think it's a really nice, interesting mix. You see all different kinds of things.
Yeah, it's definitely nice compared to like Season 1 where it's just a lot of 4-player maps. We've got some pretty interesting ones this time, although not Outsider anymore. But still
Outsider is just one of those funny maps. It's such a huge advantage just to know how to play it at all.
Yeah.
Because most people just don't know how to approach it properly. So it can... I'd say it's a bit of a harsh map to include in a tournament like this, if I had to be honest.
I agree. So, first match then. DragOn versus trutaCz. What do you think, Elegant? A PvZ on destination, who do you think has the edge?
I think trutaCz has the edge. I think that trutaCz is that a little bit more in practice, and I think he's just maybe kind of an inch or so above DragOn in kind of his skill ceiling from what I've observed. Maybe that won't be true. All power to the Protoss, but I would say trutaCz has the advantage here.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you, especially in ZVP, which is a pretty tough matchup for Protoss just in general. So for DragOn, I mean, you know, DragOn does, of course, play both sides of the matchup, so you'd think he has a good amount of at least game knowledge and experience. But just in terms of sheer skill, as you say, trutaCz is pretty high up there in the foreign scene. Definitely top 5 player, I would say,
he's
among foreigners.
Really, really super good player. But DragOn, you know, he can always he's always got a second bite at the apple, because of course once he's faced trutaCz, even if he does lose to trutaCz, he's then got 2 PVTs to play in order to actually get through. So it's not all bad if he does in fact go down to trutaCz. He probably won't be meeting him again. Yep,
and it is quite interesting, by the way, that he won't be playing his, well, quote-unquote off race today. He's only going to be playing Protoss, even though he is a race picker. It's actually quite interesting. I noticed that in all of the round of 24 groups, every single race picker has a group such that they're only playing 1 race. So I don't know.
Funny,
I just thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah. So with that, are you ready for game number 1, Elegant?
Totally ready.
All right then, here we go. The first game of the round of 24, DragOn versus trutaCz. And here we go into game number 1 at the 12 o'clock position as the Peach Protoss. We have Dragon Pain. At the 6 o'clock position as the Red Zerg, we have trutaCz. And Elegant, you are still muted. Boom.
Boom indeed. It's good to get that out of the way early on. Thank goodness that won't be happening later.
That's all right. You were just as quiet as the video, aka no sound either.
Exactly. So I was just mentioning that. I was seeming so on the ball. I'm looking at the stream chat, but I'm looking at the stream chat too much and forgetting to actually make sure I can be heard by the lovely people. Yeah, we get past that kind of thing. We do have a little bit of pylon at the front from Mr. Dragon. This is one of those maps where it really depends on preparation to get a good wall out. We've seen some crazy walls over the years, haven't we, on Destination?
Yeah, I mean, crazy is a pretty nice euphemism for bad, because, you know, that's what I would have said. But yeah, sure, crazy. Yeah, that definitely crazy walls. That's right.
Yeah, crazy walls. So hopefully Dragon won't be doing one of these crazy walls, one of these wacky wall-ins that we see so often on this map. Let's see. I'm imagining he's going to place his forge below the pylon, then place the gateway slightly awkwardly to the left, maybe, where it doesn't block really with anything.
Yeah, he's gonna do that little wall where you like make a nice little hole for your cannon, but then as you say, it's not link tight against the cliff, which seems bad to me. That's one of those things. I guess, are we saying weird now? Okay, it's weird then. It's not bad.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's weird.
Otherwise, it's just disrespectful.
And by weird, I mean the Zerg should go ling run by, and trutaCz I think is definitely capable of something like that, even though he's not a cheesy player overall.
He doesn't have a pool, so he's gonna have trouble.
Yeah, he's going for the 12 hatch anyway, but it's still possible, Elegant. It's still possible.
It could yet happen. It kind of surprised me that Dragon didn't just place the forge kind of 1 or 2 hex to the left and then build the gateway above it. Which seems a little bit strange. I think that would be a bit of a better block. But but this is just one of those maps where if you don't prepare, then you're likely to come out with some kind of bizarre walling that doesn't really work. And it looks like Dragon might be able to cobble something together, but it's going to be a little bit leaky. So there's going to be a bit of a risk of ling run by.
This probe is chilling behind the natural. Seems a little bit suspicious. I thought he was going to cannon rush, but no, he's just going to make a nexus now, so he's not going to do it yet. And you can see trutaCz actually thought that might be an issue, so he sent a drone to go harass this probe.
Yeah. He had the option, but it was too late by the time I really noticed what was going on. But he definitely could have done it, and by the time that drone went to find it, it could have been definitely too late to discover. But no, nothing doing there for Dragon. It's funny with that kind of thing though, like cannon rush and things like that. They can often, if you're not quite sure how to follow them up, they can often just kind of put you more behind than they put you ahead. Because
yes, I would. Oh, go ahead.
Because you place those cannons and then the Zerg is forced, unless you time it exactly right, the Zerg is forced to cancel the hatchery. If you time it exactly right, you can kill the hatchery. But even so, the Zerg can still then, make hatcheries elsewhere and can still put out a decent number of lings. And you've spent a lot of money on these things that are up there and that'll eventually just get easily cleaned up. So it's not always too brilliant of a move unless you really know what you're going to be doing with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is, you have to at least time it so you kill the hatchery. If he cancels the hatchery, you're just way behind. If you've actually let all your cannons finish, because 2 cannons in the pylon is already more than the hatchery in mineral cost.
Way more.
And the thing is, as you say, the follow-up is quite strange. So oftentimes, you'll see the Zerg end up going 2 base muta, really, rush to muta as soon as he gets cannon rush, and then you got to turtle up because as a Protoss, your tech is behind, and the game just kind of plays out a little bit differently. And if you're not familiar with that, then you can just end up losing anyway, as you say.
Yeah.
But none of that has happened this game, so we shall just enter a nice, calm mid-game here. It seems like the 3 bases up for the Zerg. Protoss is teching up. Let's see, he's got his core finished now. Presumably we'll build a Stargate, which the Overlord will have a look at.
Yeah, the Stargate goes down now, so it's not any kind of super quick speed outs or anything like that. Of course, this was the map where I believe the Zealot Archon, the Zealot and 2 Archon push was kind of was created. If you like, was where it was given its first shot. I remember that, very exciting game. So it kind of does lend itself to that sort of thing quite nicely. Not least because it can be good to kind of get up in the Zerg's face early on, because otherwise it can get a bit difficult when it starts to get to 3rd base kind of time to actually establish a third gas base for Protoss. It can be a little bit tricky. So that's why that strategy can kind of be, fairly nice, because it gets you out there and gets you moving around and taking some map presence nice and early on. So that style can be a bit favorable on this map. But We do have a little bit of a possible Ling Rumbai going in. Those are speedlings. It looks like they're gonna. Oh, that's so annoying. We do have 3 zealots, so they should be able to easily clean those up. But they could easily go around the back of the minerals and do a little bit of a Rumbai. It looks like they're gonna set to work, gonna take one of the zealots down. Will they take 2 down? No. Choosing instead to run away. Maybe he could have got a second one, but nothing doing. And second cannon is forced as well. So very nice return on investment right there for trutaCz. And he's going in for more, but that cannon is done. He'd do well to back off.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. A bit of a lack of micro there from DragOn to keep that zealot alive. Definitely could have done that, but yeah, not the end of the world for him, but nice little exchange for trutaCz. Now, the first Corsair is going to go down. Check out that third base here just to make sure nothing crazy is going on. We do just see the 5 hatches, as you would expect at this point. Spire going up to get some Scourge out. No second gas yet, so it's unlikely going to be any kind of fast mutas or anything like that. So, yeah, everything looking pretty normal so far. Let's have a look in the Protoss base. Oh, we do have +1 air weapons on the way, though, for DragOn, so he is going to be going for some mass Corsair action. We did see quite a bit of that during the qualifiers, actually, and it was pretty effective as far as I remember.
On Destination, though, I often feel like the channels are quite easy to shut down. Oh, we have a couple of Scourge hatching directly onto these Corsairs, which are way overstepping their mark. Still in there trying to take down. Was that the second Overlord or still the first? I'm not sure. But one of those Corsairs gets demolished.
I think that was the first one.
Yeah, I think that was the first one as well, which is fairly unfortunate. Not the best move right there for DragOn to lose one of his Corsairs. He seemed to really want that Overlord. Yeah, as I was saying before, I often feel like the air channels on this map are a little bit, a little bit easy to shut down at times for Zerg. I mean, I've seen a lot of things try and happen on this map, like big Sair builds, Sair Reaver builds, things like that. But Zerg often seems to be able to maintain control fairly well over the different routes without too much difficulty.
I agree. I mean, it's not the most spread out map here, and obviously since it's only a 2-player map, you don't have situations where, you know, the Zerg's taking a far away natural as his third, and then he has to like go really far away to defend his base. It is much more compact, as you can just see on the mini-map. Meanwhile, looks like we got a few speedouts spoken in here, no +1 or anything, and it's a decent SimCity by trutaCz, so he's just going to take care of that easily. I am quite surprised that DragOn just sacrificed that first Corsair, and it also because he is going for mass +1 Corsairs. If you're just getting 1 or 2 for scouting, it's not as big a deal if you lose it, just trying to pick off an Overlord, because they don't actually do anything later on anyway. Besides a bit of scouting. But if you're actually going for mass Corsairs, it does become a big deal to lose one of your initial Corsairs. I mean, it's like if you're going +1 Zealots, you don't want to, you know, sacrifice the first 2 or 3 Zealots just doing random harassment. That kind of defeats the purpose of your build.
Exactly. And the Corsair count is so important. I'm sure most people will know that there is a critical mass of Corsairs whereby you're basically safe from Scourge unless there's kind of a big cloud of them very carefully microed to take down your Corsairs, and it just really delays your presence out on the map. We do have those Corsairs moving out now, and that is 5 Corsairs. I don't see the +1, so they're not going to be quite safe from Scourge yet, so he needs to kind of watch his back a little bit. Our +1 air weapons is on the verge of being done, but we can't call him safe from Scourge yet, and that could be a serious problem. Here comes a flight of 4 Scourge, but some nice Corsair dodging right there from DragOn enables him to escape unscathed. He still has a decent number of speed zealots out there as well. He hasn't thrown them away fruitlessly on his opponent's defenses, which is very, very sensible, and we see it all too often.
Yeah, I thought he might be trying to make a move where he would fake out trutaCz and pull the Hydras into the main and like attack the natural with the Zealots, but he actually didn't have quite that many Zealots to do that. So he's just going to pull back a little bit now. I think he might actually be able to engage these Hydras. He does have +1, but oh no, he is going to go for it. Going to move in here, try and get a bit of surround. More reinforcements coming in though, so I don't think he should stay. He's just going to pull back now. But do note that trutaCz is getting a back mineral only, and one amazing thing about trutaCz is that he's keeping really good taps on the map. He's got Lings and Overlords checking all of the bases, keeping really, really good map vision. I really, really like that.
That's good stuff, because it just not only does he always know what's going on at all points of the map, so there's no chance of secret expansions apart from maybe on the left hand side right there, which is often a good spot, but also it's just inconvenient for the Protoss. Very, very inconvenient. He has to send an escort whenever he wants to make a new base. He can't just send a probe and throw down a new base. It's really, really, really annoying. So that's very, very nice touch for trutaCz. It may be easy to demean that kind of move, but it can mean the difference between victory and defeat when your opponent's unable to just quite get a third. Their multitasking is a bit too pushed, and maybe it just doesn't happen for a long time. It really can make a big difference. And now DragOn runs the risk of getting a little bit contained, so he needs to be pushing out fairly soon. Looking at the lurker tech, it is pretty much done, and here he goes. DragOn, knowing that his time is short, he's going to push. He should be able to push his opponent back, landing some decent size storms. Might want to wait for some better clumps, but he does manage to push trutaCz back quite significantly, and he's going to actually push him all the way back to the natural. Very, very nice breakout. Just pure Zealot High Templar right here from DragOn. Very nice composition to deal with those Hydras.
Yeah, that's actually a perfect timing as well. It doesn't look... So, did you see Lurker Aspect actually finish researching in the den? Because I don't see anything there right now. So yeah, basically, if he'd been an extra 30 seconds later, he would have been in a Zealot-heavy composition contained by Lurkers and basically dead. So that was the perfect time to push out. He had the number superiority there. Didn't even really need the Storms. He just had so many Zealots. But now, obviously, with the Lurkers on the field, he's got to be a little bit more careful. He does want to stay active on the map. He doesn't want the Lurkers to get too close to his base here. Probably shouldn't be sending his whole army to kill one Zergling either.
Yeah.
But there you go. But yeah, the thing is, Zealots are not, hard countered by Lurkers at all. They're so mobile that you can just run around and, like, snipe random Lurkers here and there and pull back. It's like Bio versus Lurkerling, essentially, the same principle. And here we go. We might have a big engagement here in the middle of the map. Still not that many Lurkers, though.
Yeah, this wouldn't end well for trutaCz if there was a big engagement right now. DragOn, I think, with a couple of decent storms, would be all over this, and his chance is still not gone. He can go in for this. He has a good number of Dragoons. He has at least 4 storms in his army. He could definitely do this. I don't think he's quite aware of how small trutaCz's army in the middle actually is. He really has an overwhelming advantage, and trutaCz actually brings him in with a little bit of Hydra pressure right there. Huge storm landing on all those Hydras. That little bit of Hydra pressure could just do enough to bring DragOn all the way in. And yes, his army is fully coming to bear, crashing down on top of those Lurkers and Hydras, easily dealing with what trutaCz had to offer. That was a very odd move by the Zerg player there to bring in his opponent's army.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to be cute with the Hydras. If he had a few more Lurkers there supporting, it might have actually been a good move. I do, like, as a general principle, I like that kind of move, but just in that case, the Protoss was just a little bit too strong there. Meanwhile, the Corsairs, we're going to fly through a bunch of Scourge here, while DragOn is not paying attention. Of course, their use now is slightly more limited. He doesn't need them as much, but obviously they still provide some utility, especially in like anti-drop defense, because getting your main dropped on Destiny is actually quite a pain in the butt, and it's pretty easy to do. So, although in this case, we can see the main Protoss army is positioned to stop that anyway, and we do actually have a few Overlords poking around. They seem to be empty, though. It looks like a drop, but it doesn't actually seem to be, so I'm a little bit confused by that. Meanwhile, looks like Protoss is now getting his 3rd base up and running, so it's 3 base versus 4, although this is a mineral only for the Zerg. So I think DragOn's in a pretty nice position here. He's actually got a pretty nice supply lead as well, 147 to just 97, a 50 supply lead now for DragOn, who's really doing a lot better than, to be honest, I anticipated he would do against trutaCz.
Yeah, this is decent, but there's a little bit of a time limit on it because trutaCz isn't going crazy for this mid-game army. He's not going like huge in on it. He is transitioning into Hive already. He's got his Queen's Nest nearly done, so he's not too heavily relying on this mid-game army being a storming success, which is quite good because it's been a pretty weak show from his mid-game army so far. But he is going to transition fairly soon, but he is going to have to hold on in the meantime. This is a little bit of a tricky position for him. He has a handful of Lurkers over the left-hand side defending that bridge, but he does have some Scourge as well, so if he can Scourge out reserves, it should be fairly safe. But DragOn knows he has an opportunity, and I really feel like he can go for this and do some serious damage.
Yeah, I really think he should. I was about to say that he was being a little bit passive there on his side of the map, and just now he attacks. But this is not a good position, though, attacking across that bridge. Really needs to find a better angle. Generally, it's not bad, but his High-Templar count isn't that high. He's only got 3, and they don't actually have the energy upgrade, which I find quite surprising. Obviously, having that extra 50 energy allows you to use 3 storms instead of 2. He is researching it now, but here we go. He's actually going to find what might be a weak spot here. There are a few Lurkers, but not that many supporting units. The rest of the army looks like it's scattered on the rest of the map, but the DragOn just can't quite make his way across the bridges, and a nice Scourge on that Observer as well. Just going to deter him. Meanwhile, a counterattack by trutaCz just with a small group of units going to deny this expansion from getting up. I think he can probably force a cancel before the main army gets back. Yeah,
I think he's definitely going to be able to force a cancel, although the main army is getting back there post-haste. He might be able to... No, he's not going to be able to save the Nexus. It is forced to cancel, but he is going to be able to make another one pretty quickly, so it won't be too bad. It was only about half finished. But this is an interesting opportunity for trutaCz to push across the bridges. I don't know if that's going to be hugely successful. He is being joined by a decent number of units from the left-hand side and bringing more out of his natural as well, so he is continuing to reinforce.
Block it with a gateway or something. Oh man, just wall it in. Oh man. Alright, he's still got some time though. He's got a High Templar there. It's got only 1 storm though. He uses 1 storm. Oh man, that wasn't the best storm. I think he should have saved it for a couple more seconds to get a little bit better, but trutaCz doing some really nice multitasking. This army of DragOn is now just walking through Lurker Fall. There's no observers here, and there's the perfect line for the Lurkers as well. Oh my god. Where are the observers? He's just getting obliterated by these Lurkers. Oh, god, he's coming in here. I think he'll save the Nexus, but he's taking some serious fire, and suddenly the supply counts are evened up, 140 to 140 essentially, and more links on the right side. trutaCz, just look at the minimap. He's going both directions, multitasking like crazy, just pulling the Protoss army in every direction.
Oh, this is not good. The Protoss is just too badly split. He's going to get shut down on the right-hand side really, really horribly. He should be able to hold on the left-hand side. He does have 1 or 2 Templar still remaining over there, but that was some seriously costly stuff. And he is going to lose most of his units on the right-hand side. He does have 1 more Storm, manages to land it a halfway decent Storm, but not the best. And it looks like he's going to be forced to cancel that Nexus again. A whole bunch more Zealots coming in to finally clean that up, but damage done over there, and this has been deeply expensive for DragOn at a very unfortunate time, just as the hive tech is about to start kicking in for our friend trutaCz. I'm looking around, I'm not seeing an Nautilus cavern, so it's not dire straits as of yet, but all those cracklings coming in are just going to make such light work of these Zealots, and he's going to need some good reinforcements if he's going to be ever able to take this right-hand side position again.
Man, this is such a weird situation because, like, you know, a few minutes ago, DragOn had a 50 supply lead, he had map control, you know, he was on basically on even economic terms with the Zerg, and suddenly he's behind 20 supply. You know, he's got no map control. His army's in tatters. I don't know what happened. I mean, the only thing I was slightly concerned about when he had that big army running around was it was very Dragoon heavy, not many High Templars and no Archons. But otherwise, I mean, it looked like he made a very, very basic mistake of allowing small groups of units attacking left and right from trutaCz to pull his entire army through and just really lose control there. I mean, that's not something I would expect of someone with DragOn's caliber, really.
Yeah, but it's a common mistake. It really, really is. It's so easy to overreact to that kind of thing and just pull way too many units in this direction or that direction. And once again, here we see a big, big number of Zerglings going into the left-hand side. They do get cleaned up, but here is more, and it's backed up by, oh, it's only a single Hydrus, never mind, no big deal. But more links streaming into the middle, and they're going to be facing against pretty much pure goons over on the right-hand side with just a couple of High Templars. Does he have any decent Storms? He needs decent Storms, otherwise he's just going to get absolutely demolished by these Zerglings. Oh no, this is bad. Some nice Storms taking out a fair number of links, but those Dragoons are all going to go down. There's Lurkers coming in as well. He is not getting that right-hand side base up. And he's forced to pull back up the ramp just to try and do a little bit of damage limitation to take out a few extra units before the eventual demise of the rest of his army. And this is looking grave indeed for Mr. DragOn. I use the word grave in both a metaphorical and very literal sense right now.
And you know what I've just realized is that trutaCz is actually just staying on like mass Ling with a few Lurkers and Hydras. He's got no Ultra Tech. The only thing he's used his high for is Adrenal Glands. He hasn't even got a Defiler mount. He's actually just winning this game with pure cracklings right now, just by doing good multitasking and attacking on every front. And DragOn clearly showing that he's not really up to the challenge here. And now he's going to lose his left side base. He's run out of Storms on these High Templar. They won't even have energy for another 30 seconds or so. So this base is almost certainly going to fall unless he can do some miracle hold with this one cannon, which doesn't seem likely. Looks like he's just going to counterattack with the rest of the army down the right side, going to take that base as well. He should at least try and save these probes.
Yeah.
So he can, you know, at least do some mining here. And it looks like he might just go like slightly turtle mode here. So just keep his army camped on the right side, just abandon left side altogether. You know, since he's not able to keep up with trutaCz on both fronts here, just go on the single front and focus on one side.
No. Oh no, really bad engagement though at the bottom of that ramp leads to the spearhead of the army for DragOn getting taken out. And GG from DragOn, not a moment too early, as all his bases are pretty much done.
Man, that was a pretty shocking turnaround, I gotta say. I mean, going into the mid game there, when DragOn had the 50 supply lead, I was like, wow, DragOn could actually win this. I mean, he's in fantastic shape. trutaCz's hive actually didn't seem that fast to me, so I was like, you know, he's kind of a bit stuck on the Hydras. He doesn't have that many, and DragOn's in good shape. And then DragOn just kind of fell apart as soon as the mass Zergling spam hit. So. Well,
DragOn was in a superior position. He was absolutely in a superior position in the mid game. He had the army advantage, but he just never crossed those bridges. He tried once, one kind of anemic effort to get over those bridges, and kind of got turned away. And after that, he just didn't seem interested. He went on the left-hand side, which is a really tough choke point. I feel like he should have gone over to the right-hand side and down that way, where it's hard for the Zerg to defend that far forward. And he might have had a little bit more joy. But that big mid-game army just suddenly became useless against all the cracklings, because he had so many Dragoons, clearly with intent to do some kind of break, but the break just never happened.
Yeah, the unit composition wasn't ideal. Too many goons, not enough High Templar. trutaCz countered it perfectly. Just mass Zergling, that's it. Exactly. And obviously there was that pretty big blunder, kind of running his goon army through the Lurker fire that definitely didn't help.
definitely not.
But, well, there we go. TrueTouch goes on to the winners match. DragOn is not out yet. He's going on to play in the losers match. And we're going to find out their opponents in the next game, which is going to be Skyline versus Cryok, a TBT on Destination. This could be a long one, so we're going to go to a quick break and see you guys in a bit.